You know, I'm a simple man. I've said before that all I really want in life is for a tall woman with a beautiful voice who's just a little bit on the crazy side to use my skull as her footrest. This isn't really who I had in mind, but hey, the worst she can say is no, right? Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I seem to have lost my number. Can I have yours? Rosemary is the second starting monster in Pillar Chase, but she often gets overlooked by the entire community because she was, well, trash when the game first launched. But I put myself through the test of playing her just to make this guide for you all, and I'll say the results were pleasantly surprising. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Similarly to Vapor, Rosemary is an original monster who comes from the first Pillar Chase game. But she was based on the enemy called the Armless Monster from the 2014 horror game TerroRift by zebazcapo.
Oh, what are you? What are you?
She also made an appearance in Blade Ninja's Minecraft mod called Beware the Rain, which is actually where Valum is from.
Disgusting human.
Yeah, I still hate you, Valum. You look dumb and you skip leg day.
To this day, she's still the only female character in the game, because Forest King doesn't count, and the only monster without an original chase theme, because Forest King doesn't count. She and Vapor are also apparently siblings? I mean, I guess they do kinda act like it in their Double Trouble voice lines?
Do you think this will ever end?
No.
Which, that raises the question, who the hell are their parents? Well, now that you know a little bit about Rosemary, let's learn how to play her. Rosemary is one of the fastest monsters in the game at 26 speed, which is even faster than survivors. But with a low stamina count of 45, high stamina drain, and a 30 damage basic attack, it's safe to say that you're not sustaining chase for very long. This is why it's important to use Rosemary as more of an ambush predator, since she's almost completely silent when standing still and surprisingly quiet while walking. Her abilities really help her with this ambush playstyle, which begins with Rosemary's passive ability is called Echolocation. Whenever a player is making noise within 105 studs of you, which is about half the length of drainage, they'll be highlighted in an outline. Now, what does making noise entail? It's pretty inconsistent actually. Based on my research, things that do trigger echolocation are running, using medkits, using Doom Gauntlet, hiding in closets, and being within about 15 to 20 studs of a survivor will trigger it automatically. Things that don't trigger echolocation are standing still or walking, picking up items, doing tasks, typing in chat, or opening doors. Now, I have no idea if voice chat triggers echolocation because my voice chat is bugged on my computer and I don't feel like trying to record on my phone, so anyone who has the answer to that can leave it in the comments. Now, the ability info says echolocation will make an audible sound every time it's used, and yes, that's technically true. But the sound you make when using echolocation depends on what you're doing when it activates. When you're standing still or walking, you'll make this noise. But when you're running, you'll make one of these three noises. The thing I will say about echolocation is it's not a constant aura read while survivors are making noise. It triggers for a few seconds right after they make a noise. And it also has a short cooldown to keep it from being overwhelmingly overpowered. Nonetheless, it's still one of the best abilities in the game to find stragglers, especially if you lose them in LMS. That was an overly complicated explanation for a pretty simple ability, but at least we get to move on to Rosemary's first ability is called Demonic Shriek. When used, Rosemary tilts her head back and lets out a big old Any survivor hit by this will have their vision become blurry for a short duration and have their hearing functionally deafened. I say functionally deafened because it will play a high-pitched ringing sound in your ears, but I can't deal with loud ringing noises, so I have to mute my audio every time it happens. Screaming naturally regenerates a quick burst of stamina, but you can get more for every survivor hit by it. Here's a chart with the approximate values that you'll get. It's essential for extending chases. especially because you can still move around while using it, unlike the pre-rework version. Although, you'll only affect survivors with the scream if they're in range when you initially activate it. Running near them while screaming won't do anything. It even goes through walls, so it can be used as a chase initiation tool rather than an extension tool. Demonic Shriek becomes even more deadly when you combine it with Rosemary's secondary ability called Sightless Essence. Rosemary will stand still for a brief period and begin hitting a blunt that's so strong that she emits smoke from her whole body. Any survivor who Rosemary touches with the smoke will have their stamina drained naturally while walking and twice as fast if they're running. Even better, bone breaking a survivor who's under the essence will instantly drain 20 stamina for them if they're sprinting. So basically, sprinting equals you're not sprinting within 5 seconds. Now, this ability is technically on a 17-second cooldown, but that cooldown persists while the ability is active. So it's actually more like a 4-second cooldown. Combining this with Demonic Shriek allows you to catch up to survivors and guarantee a kill almost every time the combo is used. Unless you use them in the wrong order or you just suck at hitting people. Rosemary may not have feet, but god is it easy to break her ankles. Now, I don't have an original joke to lead into the next section, so listen to these pro tips. Demonic Shriek can indeed kill and doesn't have an animation tied to it. We already know that less animation time means more chase time, so try killing with Demonic Shriek whenever it's more convenient. Sometimes it's better to walk up to survivors, or let them walk up to you instead of running at them. Since Rosemary's footsteps are pretty quiet, but she starts screaming the second you start running, survivors are less likely to hear you approaching while you're walking, meaning you get a free hit, and it also conserves stamina for the ensuing chase. This is gonna sound weird, but every time you successfully land a hit, let go of the sprint button for a half second or so. Rosemary's stamina starts coming back instantly once you stop sprinting, so survivors will continue to drain their stamina while running away, while you get back some stamina in the meantime. And lastly, the essential Rosemary combo that works 98% of the time. Start by activating Essence as you walk up to the survivor, scream, chase them for a bit, getting 2 or 3 hits off, and at this point they'll be out of stamina. Keep them within earshot though as you scan for other survivors with your eyes or echolocation. And then choose whether it's more convenient to kill them with a shriek or just a normal M1. And then go chase the next survivor you've already picked out. For Double Trouble teammates, you might think you want a gimmicky character like Fuwadi or Stricken, but I think Ink Demon is actually your best choice. Survivors who run into his puddles make it infinitely easier to affect them with Essence, and combine that with how Ink Demon can burst out of the puddles onto an already exhausted survivor, makes his main weakness of being slow as hell basically non-existent. And here's Rosemary's map tier list. She works best on maps with either long hauls or lots of cover, but not super open maps. You can take a screenshot if you want, because we're moving on to... Overall, Rosemary is... Okay, you know what? Cut the music. I think of myself as a pretty good pillar chase player. Maybe not the best, but I can hold my own in Last Man Standing. I've looped a PCX around pillars for 90 seconds before all his nerfs. I've run a Whist on drainage for over 2 minutes, and I've juked an MX so badly that he left the game. No, I'm not joking about any of these. But I swear to you that every time I encounter a Rosemary with at least basic hand-eye coordination and a 3rd grade reading level, I will get laid out in less than 15 seconds. Every single time. She has the best aura reading ability in the game, she's faster than survivors, she can pressure multiple people at once, her abilities are on really short cooldowns, and she can functionally out-stamina people with a single use of her Essence and Shriek combo. I played a total of 25 games as Rosemary to make this video. You know how many I lost? 0. It got to the point where I was asking people for their final words because I had so much time on the clock in every Last Man Standing. Look, no matter what race you are, no matter what gender, what ethnicity, sexuality, status, or whatever else, can we all please come together as a community to say that Rosemary is broken? I am genuinely wondering how to counter her properly. You can't run because she'll catch up to you and drain your stamina to 0 faster than you can say PCX got another rework. You can't hide from her because she'll eventually sense you on echolocation. You can't juke her forever because, well, that's more of a server latency issue, but you get my point. There is no reliable way to counter Rosemary. She's also pretty easy to learn for beginners. The only thing you need to get good at her is basic stamina management and a sense of what her abilities do. and you will server wipe every time. But since I've complained enough already, I'm willing to offer ideas to make her a bit more balanced. I think demonic shriek is mostly fine. I think there just should be an option to turn the ringing noise off or drop the pitch or something for noise sensitive people such as myself. The cooldown for Sightless Essence shouldn't go down while the ability is active. I'd say put on like a 12-second timer, which then segues directly into a 10-ish second cooldown. This would make you actually have to use the ability strategically instead of just absent-mindedly pushing the button whenever you see a survivor. Crazy idea, but make flashbangs disable echolocation for a little while. Nothing crazy, just maybe like 5 to 7 seconds where the survivor is free to run away without being sensed. I mean, it makes sense because have you ever been hit with a flashbang? They are the reason I can't deal with loud ringing. If these nerfs are too much, then feel free to buff her stamina count up a little bit or decrease the noise she makes while running. But what do you think? Do you think she's too strong and needs nerfs? If you think she needs buffs, then I'm gonna slap you. But let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and subscribe if you want to see more monster guides just like this one. Until I see you again, adios, vaya con Dios.